Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz Interview Series with legendary Kansas City jazz saxophonist and educator Bobby Watson, along with bassist Curtis Lundy, pianist Stephen Scott, and drummer Lewis Nash. Bobby tested out some material at Smoke Jazz Club in New York City that would become the material for his newest album, 2017's Made in America. This album puts a needed spotlight on the largely underappreciated black pioneers like Butterfly McQueen, Sammy Davis Jr., Wendell Pruitt, Major Taylor, and many others. He spoke about making this album, what he's been up to lately, getting back in that album circuit, so to speak, and releasing this material in a déjà vu performance at Smoke in NYC, April 28th to the 30th, 2017, with a refined album and a brand new audience. So get to know Bobby, this new album, and dig this interview, my friends.
Bobby, thank you for taking a minute out. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, Joe. Thank you.
So before we get into Made in America, I want to ask you, what has been going on with you lately?
I've just been teaching here at the UMKC and going out doing clinics and working with the Thelonious Monk Institute, working with their all-star groups, occasional trips to Italy like this. Just kind of taking the gigs as they come across my desk. Do a festival in Hawaii once or twice a year. They have different festivals and just, kind of was taking it easy, writing, trying to take care of my health.
Beautiful. I've had some time to wrap my ears around Made in America, and it's a beautiful album. It's just like the PR release says. It's a history statement. There's so much going on in this album, but take me into the studio, and what was the feeling? What was the communication that was going on in the making of this album?
The procession to making the record was we got there a day early, like on a Thursday, and we rehearsed the material, and then we went into Smoke Jazz Club, and we did 3 sets a night, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we've got a chance to play material quite a bit in front of a live audience, and at certain points when the third set came along, we would repeat some things, So it was like a live rehearsal with people listening, and I made some announcements from the stage that you're watching sausage being made, and we play it, and maybe we play a couple songs on the first set that we would repeat on the third set, like this. And it went like that for 3 nights, so we had 9 sets to play, and then we had the Monday off, and we went into the studio on that Tuesday at Sphere Sound, and we were in there for about 9 hours, and we made the record. And in the studio, it was very comfortable because we had already played all the music quite a bit, and so we had a lot of fun making it, and a lot of camaraderie because Lewis Nash and Curtis Lundy and Stephen Scott, we all go back so far together. So it was real fun, and the guys from Smoke Records and the engineers and stuff were all pretty cool, So it was a long day. It didn't seem like it was 9 hours, but it was. My lips started letting me know it was 9 hours.
Right on. So the tapestry or the backbone of this album is that you're shining a light on the largely underappreciated black pioneers like Sammy Davis Jr., Wendell Pruitt, Major Taylor, Dr. Mark Dean. Why did you pick these particular individuals to honor and to give, your music to them?
Well, I'll tell you the truth, Joe. I still have a list of about 10 more. So I had to break it down depending on the songs that I wrote to see which songs fit the personality, because I have about 4 or 5 more, like the lady that was in Hidden Figures with NASA. She was on my list. For Katherine Johnson, but I didn't have a song that fit her, I felt, and there's a few other ones. Vivian Taylor, he was the one that, heart surgeon, there was like many more, actually, Joe. So I was writing the songs to try and seeing which one fit with each one. You know, I know I wanted to do Bass Reeves. I definitely wanted to do Major Taylor. Definitely wanted to do Wendell Pruitt. You know, I had some that I definitely wanted to do, you know. Then I discovered Butterfly McQueen. So it's just been a total continuous discovery of these folks, you know. For me, learning more about Black history in its totality and not just on the surface, and realizing that I would mention some of these names to some of my friends. They knew about them. I had known about several of them for many years, and that's what kind of started my inspiration to want to do something like this. You know, when I found out about Major Taylor, the first bicycle champion, Black bicycle champion that went around the world, and I've always been a history fanatic. It's kind of sort of been like that. I mean, Joe, I can almost think of a volume 2, quite frankly.
Right on.
You know, I don't know if I'll do a volume 2, but it's just that many that I had to have the songs that I felt that fit what I was trying to do. So I still have some songs that I wrote for the album that I didn't record as well.
You know, the beauty of art is that there's a level of self-discovery that goes into it, and I noticed that with jazz quite a bit. And this was a big historical jaunt. It was another evolutionary step on your music path in your life as an artist. What did you learn about yourself during the process of making this album, and even in the afterglow now?
I learned more who I am on my saxophone. I discovered more of my sound and my style on this record because the record was not about trying to prove anything technically on the horn, because I've done a lot of records where I'm burning and just really just blowing the walls off, you know, when I was younger. And so established myself as someone that can play the horn at a certain level. But this one was just about pure expression and using my sound to express the composition. So I was more relaxed in a way and more free in a way as well, musically. And also in terms of just as a person coming to grips about what I didn't know, what I've learned, and my responsibility. What can I do in this world that I can leave for someone else to maybe strike their curiosity and lead the path to their discovery, like things have been put in front of me to do the same. So it's kind of a mission. You know, the last record I did was about Martin Luther King and the check cashing day, and now this one also is the first record that I've done for a label that wasn't self-produced in quite a while. So it was a matter of trust as well, to trust Smoke Sessions and their intentions, what they wanted to try to do to help me and help the music. So it was another stage of life, you know.
So when someone picks this album up, they listen to it, and they enjoy another Bobby Watson album, what do you want them to get from this experience of this album?
I want them to, number one, find a groove in each one of them. Each one of them, I have it's a painting. It's like theater, and the drums are special. The beats that Lewis found to play on these songs, the bass lines that Curtis does, the piano, everything is kind of special to each composition. So I when people listen to it, I basically want them to enjoy it, to just enjoy it and just want to play it again and find their favorites. I like this one, you know, and then all of a sudden go, oh, now this is my favorite. And just move through the record and just enjoy the whole record as it grows on them. I want it to grow on them and make it something that's memorable, that they can always go back to and say, man, I really like that record. That record, and it's really good. A couple of my friends that I played it for, their kids like the record. And I'm talking like 5, 6, 7-year-olds.
Nice.
And that's really important, that the young people, the young ones, the youngsters, you know, I really like the Aviator, you know. I like the Cyclist, you know. I'm like, all right, you know. Them young kids like it, you know.
That's the stuff, for sure. For sure.
I mean, the young ones, the real young ones.
Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful. The beauty of this album, too, from what you mentioned, I didn't realize this till you told me, is that you're coming full circle. You kind of did a beta test out at Smoke, and then you get a play there on the 28th to the 30th and actually unveil the album. That has to feel pretty good.
It really does. I mean, like I say, I've been doing self-production for the last several years with Gates Barbecue Suite and whatnot. So it's nice to put it in somebody else's hands and have their support. And from the things that I learned about doing it myself, I know that I'm in good hands. So it really feels good, and I really appreciate the support I'm getting and you calling me and, you know, we're talking about the record. It's good to get some publicity again, you know? It's kind of good. I like it. I've been kind of laying low for a while.
That's cool.
So it's good to be back out there, and I hope it's well received, and I hope people listen to it for what it is. I think it's innovative to the point of it being me. The innovation of it is it's me and my friends playing this music the way we do it. And you're not going to hear it like that with anybody else but us.
Before we get off, before we end things, I got one question. The other part of you that's very, very key in your world and your life as a jazz organism is that you're a teacher and you foster some amazing talent. You make Kansas City a very vibrant place. You've ushered in a renaissance. But I got one question. Mr. Herman Mehari released an album approximately the 17th of March that went to #1 on iTunes. That had to feel good as a teacher of Herman.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Especially since I produced their record when they had their group. I produced that record, and then I had Herman on this last record I did. And I've been able to take Herman on the road with me from time to time because I believe in his dedication, his trumpet playing, and his sound, of course, but then just the way he represents the music. And I'm so happy. I was telling somebody, I said, it's ironic. His album's coming out around the same time as mine, you know. That feels real good, Joe, I have to say. I feel good. You know. In fact, Herman's probably just getting back from Paris today, I think.
That's some jazz poetry right there, for sure. I like it, man. Bobby, thank you for taking a minute out. Good luck with this album. Have a great time in New York when you unveil it.
Thank you, and I appreciate your support, and keep up the work you're doing. We need it.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to yet another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the finest players in New York, Kansas City, and spots all over the world, giving fans all that jazz. And thanks to Bobby for his time, his honesty, and the music. If you want to hear more interviews, go to Famous Interviews with Joe Domino on the iTunes Store. Visit neonjazz at youtube.com, and for everything Neon Jazz, go to the neonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the music, my friends.
Neon Jazz.